actually feel bad for him at the end there.
Yeah.
But to be
it's
fair,
extremely embarrassing.
But to be completely fair, this man walked into like a comet-sized chasm of a death trap. You can turn back on chat.
All right, I'll turn it back on.
Like, when I got this email from him that I read you guys, I was like, is this guy for real? And so I passed it to Dan to set it up. And sure enough, this guy thought I was an Andrew Tate defender who loves fucking Keith Ramirez. And also, he didn't know I have Tourette's syndrome, which put me in kind of a unique position to talk to him about Tourette's. And that was a very stressful situation. I didn't see him ticking once. Just saying.
Must be effective.
I'm sorry. I honestly feel bad. I do feel bad. That man is crushed. But you know what? At the end of the day, definitely do a tiny bit of research for calling into one of the biggest podcasts in the world to do a live show about one of the most hated men in the world.
I will say, I really admire your ability to continue to be confrontational throughout an entire exchange. Like, at some point, I was like, "Oh man, like, is he gonna like loosen up a bit?" And you,
no,
you didn't. And I mean, I stand by what you did. I love that.
I could not let him spread propaganda unchecked.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if his Tourette's was cured, it's definitely coming back after this interview.
He'd be screaming the N-word all night.
Oh my God. That was like as crazy as I hoped that could have been.
That was clean.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure what direction it was going to go. I mean, we were talking about it before the show, but I still was unsure if he was...
I'm blown away.
Being sarcastic in his email, because it was just so wrong about every aspect of you.
Right.
That it almost seemed like sarcasm. So I thought he was going to come out of the gate aggressive, but no, he seemed to just not actually research anything at all. Like even just a Google search.
Bro.
He didn't even know you had Tourette's.
Yes, I know. He didn't even, but like, if you search my name, it's probably like all highlights of me talking shit on Andrew Tate. And I've done so much content about NXIVM.
That too.
Oh. Holy fuck, dude. I don't think I've ever seen someone get cooked like that in my whole life.
That was
flawless
victory right there.
I had to walk away so you can.
Yeah, I walked away for a sec.
There one point when I was reading out every 20 charges, I was like, "This is so absurd." And it took him a long time, and he was hesitant to accept the fact that I was goofing.
You ate him up, and you
left no crumb.
There you go. He's learning. He's learning.
Clearly, he sees the best in people. So maybe that's why he had.
I mean, I'm glad you said what you said about him being a victim in a way, because I mean,
that's it. I felt
pretty
really bad.
Classic Stockholm syndrome kind of thing.
In 30 years from now, you're gonna get emails saying, "Dude, I fucked up. I'm sorry about that."
I'll be there with open arms.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm waiting for him.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
We even got the Subway Surfer on him, dude. And the Nook. I mean, that was something else, man.
When he saw the Manson photo, my heart dropped a little bit. He made a very sad face when he saw that.
Well, I don't think he...
Three Amigos.
He said he didn't know anything about Charles Manson.
Well, he's lying.
He knew something when he saw that fucking photo.
he knows about Charles Manson.
Right.
Everybody does. Enough, you know what I mean?
Sure.
He does have beautiful skin, though, Keith. I was like, whoa. He must use, like, what's that serum that's really popular?
Adrenochrome?
No, not that one. Whatever. He must use The Ordinary.
That's what I was going to say, and then I was like,
Well, they have a great product. Doesn't matter.
They do. Wonderful hyaluronic acid.
You know, fuck me, dude.
You know, this guy, it seems like he seems very nice and pretty well spoken, articulate, and
his heart seems good.
Yeah, and he's a good looking guy and everything. It's just, that's what I mean. It's just like a little sad. It's just why do you feel the need to die on this hill? Like, can't you, even if you think that Keith is innocent, like making that your thing to like campaign for like
he's in a
convicted sex That's why I thought it was interesting you asked him about the photos, and maybe he doesn't have any blackmail over him. But
So NXIVM is well known for holding dirt or blackmail
yeah, it's
over
just like
someone to make
Scientology.
sure they stay in line.
Right.
And he's in a cult. I mean, it's the same way Scientologists will like follow people with cameras and fucking abuse them relentless. They're convinced they're right, and it's the whole world that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks, man.
Well, when you have titans like Alan Dershowitz on your side, you know you're
Dubs all around. The Dersh, baby.
I can't believe he's in that video. My jaw dropped.
Of course he is. That man's willing to defend goddamn Adolf Hitler.
He has
Same
never
with
seen a pedophile that he wouldn't defend.
right.
Alan Dershowitz.
And I mean, it's just so much stacked against Keith. He has 120 years. And I'm like, he seems to be singularly focused on the FBI tampering. So I says, okay, let's even give you that. I mean, still, this man is a prolific criminal, even without that. And then
Well,
he says,
seems to think it's all. If I was understanding him correctly, it seemed like if you take out this one piece, this one photo of a 15-year-old girl, the whole thing collapses. Which, like,
it's just not.
I'm not. I didn't follow the case super closely, but when I was researching, I researched quite a bit over the weekend to just familiarize myself with everything. And at least from my understanding of it, the whole metadata aspect is not the smoking gun that got him convicted. So even if you remove that, if they got a retrial and they remove that, I'm pretty certain they would still be able to find a second conviction.
Well, they had 15 victim statements. This girl who was in the photos, Camille, who says that he took her virginity when she was 15, who was in those photos, said it was him.
Right. Yeah.
Or at least I think so. I mean, I can read this.
Well, there's more too.
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
I
of
don't know
text
if he said
messages
it was him
between
or
them.
not. I know he's going to try to sue me if anything. Little thing.
Wait, said it was who?
Camille was the girl who was in the photos, the child P word.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And
right.
she gave a victim impact statement
after
that
the
says,
trial. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, according to her, she was groomed from like age 12, and Keith Raniere took her virginity when she was underage. So,
and he seems to think that like the fact that he coerced people and never actually carried out the crime himself somehow means he's innocent, which is like really wild. Because he's a cult leader.
Yeah, that also seems to be a lot of
That's what
human
racketeering is,
traffickers. Yeah,
essentially.
it's a lot of excuses in the Andrew
Racketeer-
Tate situation.
I mean, racketeering is literally that. They invented that so they could prosecute mob bosses because they never actually committed the crimes.
right.
That's what racketeering literally is. I feel bad for him though, man. If you ever want to talk again, bro, I'm here for you. I'm not even joking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for you, man. Genuinely, if you want to turn a new leaf,
It's not your fault.
it is not. That's so on point. It's not your
It's
fault.
not your fault.
I'm genuinely here for you, bro. Because like people, I feel bad. Is people say when you kill someone for the first time, it really sticks with you, and they're right.
It's not your fault. This wasn't your first murder victim.
Yeah, I
though.
know. I'm just making a joke. Thank you. And then, what was your take on the Tourette's thing? Because my thing with his Tourette's is like, he's made a whole career out of being a motivational speaker because he overcame Tourette's. And obviously, he didn't know Tourette's. So I was like, this is fucking incredible because nobody else is going to be able to accuse him of this shit. And when I
don't think anyone else would. It's such a Larry David. You had a real Larry David moment with that.
But it is suspect. Like,
I see. I don't have Tourette's, so I don't feel comfortable saying that. I mean, I think
very
it's certainly
suspect.
plausible, or I don't think it's a stretch to say that he had it. And like we were talking about before the show, NXIVM, they have like their therapy was like these like 7 pseudosciences, and then also cognitive behavioral therapy was a part of it too, and that can like help reduce tics.
It helps you manage and control them.
Which it sounded like that's what he was.
No, he
describing.
said he started backpedaling when he realized I had Tourette's.
Right.
But on his website, and when he first came on, he says, I have totally conquered my Tourette's.
Right.
That's not possible. And especially if he was walking around saying the N-word, that's like super, super, super severe Tourette's. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he went from like fully blown, like worst case scenario Tourette's to like, I'm gonna sit here for an hour and not have one visible tick is really fucking
In a very stressful
insane.
situation too, by the way.
Why does it lie?
At least for the second half.
But I mean,
Yeah, I don't
to me, it's like saying, oh yeah, I can cure bipolar disease, schizophrenia, OCD. Just come talk to Keith Raniere's; he'll take care of it. Like that's just not real. And then he backed up. He said, "I'm 4 out of 100 Tourette's."
Right, which that makes more sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
you're saying that it was only because you called him out. I mean,
He definitely backpedaled when I told him I had Tourette's.
all right. I mean,
Because he knows he can't say if he's selling some kind of course or inspirational.
Right, that
he
would be-
can't say I cured Tourette's. So
right.
he
so
was
just doesn't
tiptoeing
use the
around
word cure.
being fraudulent.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
as somebody with 35% Tourette's, let me tell you this. I know what I'm talking.
You'd say yours is 35 out of 100. Is that
Yeah,
what
I'm
yours is
35.
at?
I use that 4.
5% means everything.
I feel bad for him though. That was a lot.
I bet Keith's on the phone with him right now, chewing him up way worse than you are.
I don't think Keith has access to a phone.
Oh, you don't?
Keith
That's
is
good.
about to release the photo of that guy like having a pineapple up his ass or something. That's
Uh,
oh,
So-
shit.
so now that we have it confirmed that he wasn't coming in here, trying to argue with you or whatever, and he really did think that you would be sympathetic to his plight, was he just mass emailing like every podcast in existence, and we were just happened to be the only one that took notice? And
It could be he was copy pasting. He said, "Hi, dear H3." Oh yeah, because dude, okay. Can you say he addressed this email to Dear H3 Podcast Highlights?
oh, I caught that. That's right.
He
I
he,
forgot
he
about that.
emailed me Dear H3 Podcast Highlights, and I was about to erase it because I was like, "This is a bot or some fucking Indian farmer who's trying to."
Why the hell?
But
did
then I
you
was like,
open
"Oh
it?
shit!" I was like, "Oh shit." My name is Mark Elliott. I'm an award-winning speaker who lived with Tourette's for 20 years, and I beat it completely. So already I'm perking up like, oh, what the fuck? And then I was part of the now infamous NXIVM. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's-
And then he goes, I recently saw your coverage of poking holes in Andrew Tate narrative.
Yeah, that's really the part. Because up until that point,
Says
it could be
what?
like, oh, you were in the NXIVM call and you want to like talk about your experience and stuff.
Well, when
then
he-
like it's the Andrew Tate
When he
line
said
where it
he
starts to
beat,
go off the rails a little bit.
no, it was when he said he beat Tourette's. That's when he went off
Yeah.
the rails for me. I was like, yo, this guy's wild.
Somebody in the chat just said he was on Theo Vaughn's podcast once.
No fucking shot.
I'm watching that right now.
Talking about
actually.
what?
He talks about his Tourette's at one point. The part I'm watching.
So this is what I'm saying. This guy's built a whole career. He's on tour telling people they can cure their Tourette's if they stop being pussies about it.
Why
Right,
does it
which again
lie?
would have made sense if he knew that you had Tourette's and was specifically reaching out to you.
No,
You're a famous
yeah.
influencer that has it, but it wasn't even that either. It's
Dear
like,
H3 Podcast Highlights. Let me send you an image of this because I think it's worth seeing. Yeah, that thumbnail's good, Cam. Obviously, I didn't want to title it because I didn't want to give the game away, and that's why I disabled chat too and made a very cryptic title because I really wanted this to land. And
Yeah,
did.
the name of Theo's episode is "The Man Who Overcame Tourette's."
see, now to me, that's insanely fucking offensive. You don't overcome Tourette's, and the implication is that everyone else is weak. That everyone else is just being a giant pussy who hasn't been enlightened yet. You don't. It's not something you overcome. It's something you live with and you learn to live with. It's crazy. You can't. It's just fucked up to put that into the world. Like, oh yeah, did you get your Tourette's cured yet? Like people that watch that, it's crazy. By the way, let me send you this. I just want to show you so you can pull it up because this email is pretty ironic, pretty iconic. And he was emailing you quite a lot, right, Dan? So he had a lot of opportunities to look into the show.
this all started like over 2 weeks ago, and so again, if I ever found myself in a position where I was being invited on a podcast, I don't know why that would ever happen. But if I did, I would probably at least Google once.
Well, but he emailed you like 30 times.
That's what I'm saying. Is
The-
like there was plenty of time, and there was back and forth and stuff as we tried to land on a date to do this, and yeah, I don't know.
Can you pull an
Next
excerpt?
time, do a little bit of research.
Just a little. But that's what I said. I understand how you fell into this cult. I mean, you have zero critical thinking abilities.
At no point, and we did. There was quite a bit of back and forth, but it was very formal and brief, just about the logistics. I didn't go out of my way to try and mislead him that we were going to somehow be.
We didn't say
sympathetic.
anything.
It's very just like, hi, nice to meet you. What dates would work for you? Just
I did the
very,
same.
like,
I didn't want to be guilty of misleading him or entrapping him. He emailed me. I responded with simply, I forwarded it to Dan. I don't think I said, hi, Mark, would you be interested in calling into our show? That's all I said. He said, hi, H3, thanks for getting back to me. I'd love to. When were you thinking? Then I tagged Dan. I said, I'll have my producer, Dan, email you. So, like, there was no...
Yeah, and the rest of it is just like technical stuff.
We handled that, like, very professionally. Can you show that email? I want to show how you addressed it to...
Here, I'll just screenshot. I guess it doesn't show any. There you go. Dang.
Yeah, here. This is the email I got. He addressed me as Dear H3 Podcast Highlights. So,
Very odd.
yeah, he's just... I don't know, man. Like, do you see how, in a way, if you're really impressed by Keith, you should be really impressed what I just did. So,
Well, you haven't cured any neurological
Not yet.
disorders or anything, so.
well, a stupid neurological disorder. I think he just got a pretty strong dose in how not to be stupid. I don't know.
Healed me from poverty.
Do you find any good excerpts from the Theo Von? Because I'm sure he's out there being like, yeah, I cured this shit. Everyone else is a giant lame-o.
Also, just real quick, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to somebody on Reddit known as Incorruptible BK, who runs the NXIVM case subreddit. You were a massive help in researching this weekend. You've really stayed on top of this whole case and tracked it. I found a lot of fantastic information on there. And I see...
Are they buzzing?
I see 55 minutes ago that Incorruptible BK posted a link to our episode on that subreddit. It said, maybe too late to catch it live, but Ethan Klein brought Mark Elliott on his podcast and is just absolutely toying with him. So shout out to Incorruptible BK for your assistance.
Thank you, Nick Clark, for the 20. He says, I'm wheezing right now. Bella Simmons, who's a legend, said that was amazing. Billiam Whatlicker. 5 gifted. Thank you. God bless. Nick Clark, 50. That was that man was a rotisserie chicken. Are you watching the Theo Von thing?
Yeah, nothing too interesting yet.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, because I didn't eat breakfast today, can you bring out we got Subway. I'm just going to eat to the side. I don't want to just disrupt the experience or anything, but God damn, that wouldn't like because I was to be honest, we were talking last night. We were kind of nervous. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Sorry.
I mean,
yeah, I still didn't even know what his attitude was. Because, like, again, you can read that same email as him being kind of sarcastic towards you.
I didn't see that. I thought it's exactly what I thought it would be. In terms
it was.
of
No, you absolutely, it was. Yeah.
The top comment on Theo Von's is very inspiring to have a man who beat Tourette's and a man who beat Down syndrome in the same room talking.
I think Theo probably jokes that he has Downs or something.
So this guy's been on tour for 4 years. He was on Theo Von's show. You know.
Well, that would have been was 4 years ago before everything came crashing down on NXIVM?
Yeah, it must have been. Because when I watched the first documentary about NXIVM, Keith was still out. He was still at large. And then at one point he was on the run in Mexico. I don't know the whole timeline. I feel bad for him, though, honestly, at the end of the day. He was even in the face of, like, being called out, he was very mild-mannered. I don't know.
That's what I was saying. It's just it's sad that he, like, this dude could probably, make something of himself in something that isn't defending a convicted child predator.
Well, anyway,
Branch out.
if you're
Branch out a
there-
little bit.
If you're out there watching, Mark, I'm here for you, buddy. I'll adopt you like Aiden Ross.
That's sweet.
I already have 2 kids, but fuck it.
What do you think? I won't
Aiden
say.
can have a brother.
I won't say their name to call them out, but what do you think of this comment in the chat that we were bullying him and it was really hard to watch?
We were bullying him. There's no question about it. That's why I feel bad.
Bullying me.
But at a certain point, this man, he's so special because I can bully him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's worthy of being bullied.
I mean,
For how dumb it was to approach me, he's literally part of a sex cult. He's defending a pedophile rapist.
yeah, I think the point where the sympathy kind of disappeared for me is when he wouldn't outright say it, but heavily implying that the child R-word victim was just making it up and lying.
I would say that's worse than bullying.
Yeah, that's pretty scummy.
This girl who was brave enough to come out, who's
Kind of
been
worth
brainwashed from
bullying
the
them.
age of 12. This
Yeah.
man, he all but said she's lying.
Yeah,
And then there's
he didn't
50
want to fully say that, but read between the
There's
lines.
15 other victim
They're all making it up.
and he goes, well, they're not under oath. It's basically like a random tweet.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, good thing. Yeah, they don't even know each other. There's like, they weren't even like known associates.
Is that the girl he said was just kinky too?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a psycho.
He was
thing to say.
kinky. They were just kinky.
That was embarrassing.
Yikes.
So yeah, listen, I think we were definitely bullying him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't know if it was bullying. To be honest, I'm being facetious, but we definitely grilled him hard, and he walked into a giant trap, and we were talking about something very serious, and I wanted to. Yeah, it's just, what am I justifying? Shut up. If you're uncomfortable, it's not for you. Go join NXIVM.
Agreed.
They're
They're
more
all about
welcoming
peace
than
and
I
love
am.
over there.